So thanks, everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday Talk. This is part of our Tuesday Talk series for spring, summer, really focus on adult learners at Wayne State. So that's a lot of different populations here. Generally, we'll focus on Work Your Way Back students, adult returning students, Phoenix reentry students, transfer students, justice impacted students, military affiliated, first generation. So a lot of different populations represented here. And I just want to welcome all of you today. So what we're going to do, I'm going to briefly do some introductions of our adult learner success team. Then I'm going to hand over to Daisy to do her financial aid SAP appeal presentation. Then we just have a couple brief wrap up things and next steps. So we're going to move pretty quickly through this so we can really spend a lot of the time on financial aid because that's what all of our questions are. And then that being said, if you do have any questions, at any time, feel free to unmute yourself and just interrupt us, or if you want to type it in the chat, I'm going to try to monitor that this evening. Anything that we could do to help. So first things first, this is our adult learner success team. My name is Amber Neer. That's like FAR. I'm the advisor for the Work Your Way Back program. I also work more generally with our adult learners. So I'm a good point of contact for any of those populations I mentioned earlier, and I can connect you with resources on campus. Chloe Lundy, I don't think Chloe is here, but Chloe is our adult learner liaison. So most of you probably have chatted with Chloe before. She's also a good first point of contact and connecting you with anyone on our team or elsewhere at the university. And also let Laura introduce herself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Laura Karanker. I'm glad to see some familiar, well, I don't know about faces because you don't have your videos on, which is totally fine. We're glad to see some names that I recognize on here tonight. I'm an academic advisor on our adult learner success team, and like Amber, I can assist with the population she mentioned on the intro slide, and general questions, get you connected with your major advisor, other resources on campus, things like that. So thank you, Daisy, for everything you do, and I'm looking forward to this presentation. I know some folks have a lot of specific questions about SAP appeal, so thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Laura. And then James Hearn is our adult learner career coach. Is James here? I don't think so. So James is our newest addition, one of our newest additions to the team. Everyone kind of joined at the same time, I guess. And James is, he's a great contact if you're thinking about revamping your resume, really leveraging your skills as somebody who has a lot of experience in the workforce, but then you're also working on your degree here at Wayne State. So that can look a little bit different for everybody. So if you're looking for a job, or just want to see what that's going to look like down the line, James is a great contact to have as well. And you can schedule with all of us through our general adult learner success team. You can book me site, which I believe I link in the end, but I'm going to put it in the chat a little bit later too. So I'm going to hand it over to Daisy, our financial aid expert. And Daisy, hopefully you can share your screen, but if you don't mind introducing yourself and kind of what your role is with everybody.
Absolutely. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I recognize some of the names. I know that John sent me an email, haven't responded, but I shall, John, so sit tight. Okay. And thank you for your patience. My name is Daisy Cordero, as Amber said, and I am the financial aid liaison to all the adult learners. And if there's anything I can do, I may take a little bit of time to respond to emails because, there are other duties as assigned, but I will always respond to your email and try to assist you with everything that I can. And tonight we're going to talk about two really important pieces here, but Amber, do you have more to say, more to share before I start? Okay, we're going to talk about satisfactory academic progress, and we're going to talk about special circumstances. So I'm going to try to share my screen. I only have 2 or 3 slides. We will expand on this topic for the next series, right, that starts September. And I will have more information or a better presentation. But I think with these 2 slides, I think it's going to cover most of what I need to share. And if you have questions, please do not hesitate to ask. Now, let me try to do this. Okay. All right. Can everybody see my screen? No. See, it's always the same. Now?
No.
Oh my gosh, why does this happen to me every single time?
So Daisy, what are you seeing when you click share screen? Did you click on the screen you want to share?
Yes.
And then you have to make sure you click the blue share button on the bottom right.
Okay.
Welcome to the club, Daisy.
Okay, is that better?
There we go.
Oh, I know. There we go. Thank you. And John, I know it's something, it's every single time. Okay, now, do you see the satisfactory academic progress slide, right? Everybody can see that?
Yes.
It's kind of weird. All right. Oh, here we go. All right. So unfortunately, many of the adult learners, which includes all the list, that long list that Amber shared with all of us earlier when she started her introductions, have left Wayne State, and they had to appeal before they left, but many of the times when we leave an institution is because emergencies and life happens, right? So if I'm leaving because I've had some awful things happen to me or whatever, okay, I had to leave, I'm not going to be thinking about appealing, right? That's the least of my problems right now. I just want to get on with life and do what I need to do. So when you come back to Wayne State, lo and behold, that satisfactory academic progress flag is still out there. However, when you look at your financial report, you won't see it, because when you left here, it could have been 2014, 2016, 2017. This is 2022. So we have not run reports to bring the students who have left Wayne State for a minute or two back into the group, right? So this is a special and a separate report that we run. Okay, and usually when Amber, who's so kind, and Chloe and Laura email me about any of the adult learners, that's the first thing I look at. And if I see that you're unsatisfactory, I'm going to put a request out there on the account. So this does not happen automatically when you first come in. It will for the second and third semester after you're here, but not initially. And that's one of the situations that we're working on in our office to see what we can do to make sure that all these students are pulled back so that you can know that you're unsatisfactory, but you would not have known unless you met with Amber and then with me, and so on and so forth, or Laura. So this is, it's kind of it's a hoop to jump through, but we get it. Okay, and so we're trying to see what we can do to make this better. But satisfactory academic progress, it's a federal requirement, like everything that controls financial aid. It's a federal requirement regarding GPA, PACE, time frame. GPA is your GPA. The PACE is you have to complete 67% of the published program, meaning the credits that you have attached to that program. For instance, if you enroll for 12 credits and you drop down to 3, in the fall you enroll for 12, then all of a sudden you drop down to 3. For the winter semester, you will be on warning. That means that you have to make up the classes that you did not complete because you attempted 12 and you ended up with 3 courses or 2 courses or whatever. So let's say half time. So that's a problem. Okay, so that's your pace, that you're not keeping up, the student is not keeping up the pace that they should be going, keeping to end the semester. But initially, for the following semester, after you drop those classes or something happens, you don't complete the classes, you will be on warning. Now, if the classes are not made up for the following semester, you will be unsatisfactory. Okay, so we give you 1 good semester, 1 warning, unsatisfactory. Now, if you're not coming that semester, let's say spring, summer, you still have to appeal for the following fall. So that means that you have to submit an appeal form with all the supporting documentation. Okay. We review SAP every single term. Other schools do a full year, except for law and med. Every semester, we review satisfactory academic progress. Okay. Not every single appeal is approved, and all signed plans of work must be locked. That's also was a little bit of a problem we had at the beginning, but I think the academic advisor side of the house is good, you know, with locking all the plans of work, because if we receive an appeal and we check degree works and we see that the plans are not locked, then that's a problem. The appeal is going to be denied. So that's something that everybody has to remember. Please ask your academic advisors to lock your plans of work before you submit the appeal. Then we have time frame. Time frame is when a student exceeds 150% of the published time frame of their programs. For instance, 180 credits for undergraduate students is what we require. But let's say you're in the STEM program, those people have all kinds of credits. Or let's say kinesiology, much more than 120 credits, or they do exceed the 150. The computers are dumb. They don't understand that you as a student are not in the 120 category. Okay. So that's, you know, that's going to be a problem, because it's going to put you over the 180. And the computer doesn't know, whoever programmed, they don't know that you are that you are in a STEM program, and that you're in kinesiology where you're taking like 100 and I don't know 50 credits, or 100 and I don't know 90 credits, because you need all these credits to graduate. So then that will be again, you'll have a grace period of warning, and then the following semester, that's when you'll be unsatisfactory. You still have to appeal. Okay, so students lose their financial aid if they don't meet satisfactory academic progress. That's a given. All right. So the academic advisors will work with you on the plan of work, and the appeals are on our website. You can get to our website through the financial aid portal. And there is the website, or the link. And we also have a link for writing an appeal. This is very good. It gives you good tips on, you know, how to write an appeal. Now, I have to tell you, when it comes to GPA, if you're like in the Phoenix program and the GPA, it's a point something or other, 9 times out of 10, that appeal will not be approved. Okay, because if it's a 0.13, a 0.30, there's just no way that, you know, our recommendation will probably be go to a community college, take those classes that you failed, bring up your GPA, transfer, appeal again, even though the GPA is not going to change. But as soon as we read your appeal and we see that you've gone through a community college and done well, we're ecstatic. That appeal will be approved, and then your financial aid will be reinstated. It's painful to some of us as students, where, you know, you say, oh, well, you got to go back there to community college and start taking classes over there. But hey, you know, the end result will be good, because once you transfer a 2 point something or a 3 point, you're golden. The appeal will be approved. Now, each semester, you have to maintain a decent GPA, at least a 2. Until you graduate, and we will help you with anything you need, but you have to let us know. Sharing the information or whatever it is that's happening in your life at that point, you have to don't wait until the last minute. That is, you know, this is one of the problems that we have. Not everybody, some people wait till the last minute because they're either ashamed to ask or they don't want to ask. Hey, nobody needs to be ashamed of anything here. We're all in the same boat. We're all rowing the same seas. And our job is to support you, not to criticize or to judge. That's not what we do. So you go into a class and you feel the pit of your stomach. Oh my, there's something wrong with this. I know I'm not going to make it. Do not wait until the last minute, get an F or a withdrawal, do this or that. Let us know, you know, something is happening here. Go to Amber, go to Laura, go to somebody to say, I don't feel good about this. Okay, now, if you stay in that class more than 60%, and you get the F, God forbid, but you get a bad grade, unless you're below that GPA or the time frame or whatever, you will have 1 semester of grace, which will be a warning. And that's when you really have to buckle up. It's like I don't know, a red flashing light, warning, 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 please make sure you do this right before the next semester. Okay. And the killer here is that it stops all financial aid, and then you're stuck. So this is the gist of the satisfactory academic progress. And when in doubt, leave it out. Please email me or email our office. We will let you know what you have to do. Don't do this alone. If you have questions about anything, let us know. We're here to support you. That's why I'm here. Okay. Any questions about satisfactory academic progress? Anything? We just want to see progress. Okay. We approve an appeal. We see good grades. Even though you had a bad semester after the warning period, that appeal is going to be approved, because we know you're an adult trying to get out of here as fast as your legs can get you out of here. Finish your degree, get your diploma, continue working where you are, or get a better job. We know that. So we don't want anybody to fail. Okay. And we will do our very best to work with you. We're working hard with the Phoenix students who are coming through the Phoenix program, trying to get them over the hump here so that they can graduate. Okay. Any questions about any of this information? Anything I could answer right now? Amber, Laura, any questions that you may want to, anything you need as academic advisors and the face of the program?
I do get, oh, I'm sorry, Amber, were you going to say something? Oh, I do get quite a few questions about the documentation that needs to be submitted with the appeal. I was just trying to pull up the website here so I could ask the question more specifically, but thought I would jump in. But that's one of the main questions I get is like about the documentation that needs to be submitted with the appeal. Like what exactly does it need to be? Where does it need to go and be sent? Those types of questions.
All right. Let's say that I'm submitted an appeal. If I do the electronic appeal, I have to upload and attach the documentation that's going to support my claim. Let's say that I'm telling the financial aid office, or actually the Department of Education, that I did not do well after my warning period because I had a death in the family. God forbid, but that's, or I had COVID, or one of my family members had COVID, my child, whomever. I need to submit either a death certificate, paperwork from the doctor's office, and a written statement that explains, doesn't have to be huge or detailed, that detail, just say, this is what happened, and this is my documentation supporting my claim. Because it's not just, see, we're audited. We breathe and the auditors are here. So when they come, we need to give them a nice menu of, let's say they choose my appeal. And they say, okay, she claims that her mother had COVID and she takes care of her, blah, blah, blah. Well, where's the documentation? And we approve that appeal without the documentation that supports my claim, then we get a slap on the wrist that costs the department money. The Department of Education does not like anything without, it's the federal government. They breathe, eat, sleep paper. That's what they love. So when we say these are the circumstances that cost my academic progress to fail or to be messed up or whatever, here's my proof. A death in the family, I get an obituary, somebody was sick, here's the, even a doctor can just write a short letter, say, yes, this person was ill, and this is what they had, nothing detailed, and this is extremely confidential. What you submit to our office is confidential. If you do the electronic form, there is a way they'll tell you exactly, we will tell you exactly how to do it on the computer. If you do the paper form, you can either drop it off at the Welcome Center, making sure that everything is there, Your name, your access ID, the supporting document, everything. Make copies of everything before you submit it to our office. Make sure everything is signed. And then we'll handle it from there. Or you can email all the hard copies, if you want to do that, to documents@wayne.edu. documents@wayne.edu. Laura, does that help? Okay.
How long does it typically take to hear back on an appeal?
Well, right now, because everybody is kind of appealing at the same time, it's going to be like 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer than that. But typically it takes 2 weeks for the appeals to be reviewed and everything in order. You know, that's the worst scenario. It could be a week or a week and a half, but the worst scenario would be 2 weeks out.
So Daisy, if a student is registered for fall currently, and they're planning to submit an SAP appeal, if as long as they submit it by the end of August, would you expect them to have an answer by the drop deadline, which is what,
Yes.
September 12th or 13th? Okay.
Yes. Yes. The answer is yes. 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 Because we have to get all these appeals done before, you know, registration and beginning of classes, which is the 30th of August and all of that. Yes. The answer is yes. Mhm. Okay.
So I think you went over this before, but I just want to reiterate it. How would you know if you need to do a SAP appeal, and what if you need to do one and you don't? What happens?
Okay. What happens is if you need to do one and you do not, the financial aid will come to a stop. Because behind the scenes, the computer is programmed to check pace, GPA, and time frame. Even if it's not showing anywhere, anyplace else, it is showing in one of the places on Banner, which is what we use to work on our student accounts. So as soon as the system finds out, as soon as the system knows when they do the checks that you're unsatisfactory, the student receives an email from us, a communication say you're unsatisfactory, please look at Academica, submit an appeal, that sort of thing. And through Academica, through the financial aid portal, they can see what the problem is, whether it's GPA, time frame, or both, or pace. It can be GPA and time, well, it could, but it's usually GPA and pace, or GPAs or pace. So they do get communications from our office letting them know they're unsatisfactory. The only problem is the students who leave and they're out 5 years and come back. If they were unsatisfactory when they left, they will be unsatisfactory when they return. But they forget, we forget things. So those are the ones who we have to really watch very carefully.
And so those communications typically go to the Wayne State email, right?
That is correct. Mm-hmm.
So that brings me to my next point. I just want to reiterate. So when you're moving through this onboarding process, coming back to the university after time away, most of our team is going to communicate with you through your personal email, because we know that you don't have access to your Wayne State email if you've been gone for more than 18 months. That access comes back once you register for classes. So once you do register for classes, it's imperative that you start using your Wayne State email as your primary communication at the university. A lot of instructors won't reply to personal email addresses and won't send anything to your personal email address. The university, like the official communication from like financial aid, anything from like a registrar, all of that official documentation is going to come to your Wayne State account. So be sure that you're getting familiar with that. You can definitely there is an option to have that forwarded to your personal accounts, but that wouldn't really take care of the issue where if you email your instructor from your Gmail, they may not respond. So yes, like us, like Laura and me and Chloe, we're all going to respond to your Gmail accounts, but that's not necessarily representative of what you're going to see when you're back on campus. So just be aware of that. We're trying to be flexible. I wish more folks were flexible, but the reality is when you're on campus, be sure to be checking your Wayne State account once you register for courses. Did anyone else have any other questions or things to add?
And then is it correct that students can find and you may have said this, I apologize, that they can find their SAP status in academical?
They can, but not if they, well, not if they left 5, 6 years ago.
Okay.
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. But you know, you ladies should always ask the question, were you unsatisfactory when you left here? Because if the answer is yes, they're still unsatisfactory. You know, and even some of our students who leave Wayne State do phenomenally at a community college and come back, they still have to appeal with us, because when they left us, they were unsatisfactory, even though they received financial aid at another school. So they have to appeal with us. So just make sure you ask the question, were you unsatisfactory when you left Wayne State? And if the answer is yes, then they have to appeal. Okay.
So I know as
And-
part of our process, we almost, I can't think of a time where we don't loop Daisy in. So when you talk to us, we're going to tell you, you should talk to Daisy. And
Yep.
that's something that
Yep.
Daisy will work with you on too.
Yep. And that's what I'm doing right now, looking at every single email. It takes so long because I look at everything. I go, listen, when I get a name, when you ladies send me an email to say, you know, we copy Daisy on it, I take the access ID and I look at the national, first I look at our system to make sure satisfactory academic, everything. If there's no FAFSA, then it's difficult for me to find out about loans and things like that. But I usually go back a year or two and I can still get the data to go into the national database and see if there's a default or if there's anything there that's going to be a showstopper. Okay. But it takes a long time and I can't make mistakes on this one. By the way, Amber, we have a new form. We should be using it pretty soon for every single adult learner, not the WWE only, but for everybody. So I will be sending the students the form that tells them you're satisfactory, you're not satisfactory, this is your GPA, these are the credits that we have earned. Everything that's pertinent to that student's financial aid, they will have so that they can refer to it. I know exactly what I'm talking about. And if they're unsatisfactory, I will include the appeal in my email. So that's why it takes so long for me to get all these things, and you know, all these ducks in a row. But I want to make sure that once I send that email back, the student will know exactly what he or she has to do so that there won't be any issues with anything. Okay.
That's
that's
great
what,
news. And that's so important too, because I think a lot of you will realize as an adult learner, your financial aid situation gets complicated super quickly. And that's unfortunate, but it's also normal. And I don't want that to be a reason. I don't want you to get discouraged.
oh no, never.
Because it might get complicated, but that's what we're here to help you with and help you through that process. So don't let, you know, I've seen too many students say they need to submit a SAP appeal and just kind of give up, like, oh, that's just too much for me to handle. Look, that's what we're here for though. And we're going to work with you through that process. So don't let that be discouraging.
You know, it's like when you have Christmas lights that are all tangled up and it takes a little while to untangle them, but once you do, they're beautiful. They're twinkling and they look lovely and blah, blah, blah. That's what this is like. It's a mess at the beginning, but we can fix it. We always do. It may take a little bit of time. That's why it's important to start early. And if you have to sit out a semester for any reason, a default or whatever, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You'll come back again. Persistence is so important. We work hard here for you, but we have to work together. We can't do this alone. You can't do it alone. And our only interest is that you graduate. That's why you came back. So never be discouraged. Discouragement takes a lot of energy out of all of us. You always have to look at the bright side. You know, I've always said there's a pony in all that manure. So keep your eyes open and get the pony. All right. All right. Should I jump to special circumstances? All right. So the other appeal that we have is called special circumstances. And we know life happens. Okay, look what happened with this. Did anyone ever think that the United States of America will be in the mess that we're in today due to a pandemic? Nobody had a clue. The whole world is upside down. Okay, so life does happen. Sometimes we can control the circumstances. Many times we cannot. So we work them out. We don't give up or go away and say, I'm going to forget this. No. No, we work it out. So the Department of Education, they don't always do things right, but they do a couple of things that are good. And special circumstances is one of them. Let's say that you reported on the FAFSA that you made $150,000 last year due to the pandemic, for 2020, but due to the pandemic, you lost your job, God forbid, or something happened that income has totally changed. You have a family of 5 or 6 or 3 or 2 or 1, even if it's just you lost your job. What do I do? The financial aid is not covering anything because my expected family contribution, what the government says I can contribute, I can pay towards my education. The number is huge. They say I can pay $10,000. I can't. I don't even have a job. I lost my job. Or my income from 200 went down to 20,000. What do? You come and see the financial aid administrator. You call us. We will meet with you. We will talk about what happened, and then we will tell you, no worries. We have an appeal form that is not published. It's important that you meet with a financial aid administrator, either Zoom, phone, whatever, because we were receiving special circumstances appeal forms for things that we knew we could not approve. See, I went on a vacation. I got myself in debt. Now I need to check. Well, no, we can't help you with that. That was the decision you made, but it happens. I'm not kidding you, John. I know you're laughing. It happens all the time. It happens. And then they're like downfall in their faces. She said, what? What do you mean? I'm in debt. I got to pay my credit. I said, I know, I'm so sorry. But the Department of Education won't allow us to, approve a special circumstance for those reasons. So it's imperative that the student meet with an advisor, financial advisor, so that we can determine right from the start, yes, here's the form where this is an approved appeal. These are the documents that you need, or nope, we cannot approve that. I'm sorry you got into debt. We're really sorry, but we can't help you. Okay. So a change in income, there are divorces, loss of employment, illness. Okay. There's so many reasons why people have to meet with us to let us know my life has changed radically. But unless you tell us, we will not know. Nothing is set in stone with the financial aid. There's some ways, some things that we can change. Okay. So the appeal process takes a very long time. I'm going to tell you why. When we receive an appeal, if it's due to COVID, okay, easy. You can complete it's not yet published. That one is published for everybody to do on their own or download. They're working on the form, but if you lost your job or got sick, with COVID-19 or whatever, that one is an appeal that's going to be approved. You have no idea how many appeals we did for this COVID-19. People lost their jobs like you would not believe. So those we figure out what the heck, it's COVID, they're going to be approved. So we're going to put them out there. Those are published. The new one hasn't been published yet, but it will be. Okay. So the thing here is to meet with us, start early. If you know you have a situation in April or May for the following year, because you filed your FAFSA October 1st, don't forget, that expected family contribution is wrong because you had a bad year. The FAFSA for 23-24 will be available October 1st based on your 2021 taxes. So if you know that those numbers are not right, please come and meet with us. Meet with us so that we can tell you exactly what it's the best time to meet with us will probably be sometime, if it's for the following year, you can still meet with us in January or February. It's fine, or even March. Even if the appeal has not been updated, which it usually is very early on for the financial aid administrators, we can tell you this is what you need. Get all your paperwork together because we need a lot of documentation. If you've lost your job for any reason, we need unemployment documents if you received unemployment. The reason why we need your 1040 for the for the past year, and then you or your W-2s, so that we can compare the income. And those appeals are 9 times out of 10, they're approved. These appeals are usually approved, okay? Okay, the appeals are sometimes they contain sensitive information. Okay, so we don't want to put too much out there. It's important that you come and speak with us. You know, we can talk through exactly what it is you need to submit so that we don't go back and forth. Okay, but if anything occurs in your life that has made a change in your situation, please come and talk to us. Please, it's really important. It may take a little bit of your time to do this, you know, to come and meet with us and discuss it. But by the time you leave, we'll give you a list of what you need. We'll give you the appeal information, and then you can come back and drop everything off. I would do it in person, or you can submit it to documents@wayne.edu. Make sure that everything is signed, that your personal statement is very clear, without any gory details, but very clear, and that the supporting documentation is attached. Okay. And if you lost your job, that unemployment and the W-2s are crucial. We need that information. All right. Any questions about special circumstances? Anything that I did not cover?
Yes, ma'am. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
I have a question regarding an extenuating circumstance that might extend the appeal process, meaning getting in the information to the departments that needs to go through the information. Are there extenuating circumstances that could extend that deadline process?
You know, for special circumstances, we don't really have a deadline, because okay, let's say you did your fall, you did your winter, the circumstance happened towards the end of the winter semester, but you're still in the winter, so you can still appeal, and we will change the numbers of your expected final contribution for the fall semester. And sometimes the students can submit the documents quickly, but sometimes it takes time. But as long as you're still in that semester where you're appealing, you're good. Does that answer your question, if I understood the question right?
Well, allow me to present this question to you. I believe you
Okay.
did. So if I am understanding you properly in the example that you gave, if I am in my winter semester and there are circumstances that comes across, am I to understand that because of the various time that may be needed to go through all of the documentations that's necessary, is completing the winter academically still available, or does it cease as it relates to the financial aid and things of that nature?
If you submit an appeal during the last week of classes, whatever semester that may be, we're going to honor that appeal. We're going to honor it, because you're still in the academic year. Now, if you submit an appeal for the winter semester during the spring, summer, that's going to be denied because you're no longer enrolled, unfortunately.
Understood. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Okay, I hope I answered the question.
You did.
Okay, thank you. Any other question? And you know what? Please do not pass judgment on your circumstance to say, oh, I don't think this is going to be approved. Let us do that. Okay, let us do that, because you will be surprised what we approve based on the Department of Education's guidance. Okay, so let us make that, that evaluation when you come and speak with us. And then that way you will know where you stand, and we'll explain everything and do what we need to do. Okay. Any other questions that I may answer for you this evening? Anything?
I have a question.
Okay. Did you on?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Well, my question is basically the same. I actually put it in the chat, but my audio wasn't working earlier. But I think you know my situation. I've kind of run out of financial aid.
Mhm.
So what's my, and there is no, I don't think I can appeal because I ran out, but
No, you
I don't know
can't,
what I'm supposed to do.
you can't appeal, but you know what? Did you email me?
I did.
And I haven't responded, of course, because I've been, yeah. I will though. I will, because I saw your email. You and I
Okay.
have to have a conversation, separate conversation, okay?
Okay.
Because I'm a great beggar for money, but I need to know some things before I beg for money.
No problem.
I'm
I'm
to
doing
the,
fantastic. So if
I
that's
know, I'm so excited for you. I'm such a beggar for money that when they see me, I tell Amber all the time, they see me and they run. Cassie says, oh Lord, here she comes again. We know what she wants. So, but we need to do what we need to do. So I'll respond to your email, Jiwan, okay? I
okay.
will do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
And hello, Amber.
Hi, nice to see you again, or
You
hear
too.
you again. It's been a while. Any other questions for Daisy or just generally before we go through some wrap-up slides?
No, but I would like to say thank you to all of you. I have to leave. I've got to go to dinner. So I'm just gonna say bye.
Bye, Jen, and I'll answer
Thanks,
your
Jen.
email, okay?
All right, I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
We'll
Take
see you
care, my
next time.
friend.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen really quick here. Okay, here we go. And you can see my screen, correct?
We can see your screen.
2 for 2. Awesome. Okay, so we're near the end. Can't believe it, but we're at near the end of the spring summer semester term, gearing up towards fall. So this is one of our last events for the spring summer semester. We do have one next week with James on resume building for adult learners, so stay tuned for that. And then the next week or two, I'm going to be publishing our fall schedule as well, so you can see what we have in store for the fall. Some really exciting programming. Terrell's doing a session for us. Daisy, as usual, is doing some awesome sessions for us too. So if you want to revisit any of this information with financial aid, we can do that again in the fall, but obviously don't wait. Reach out if you have any questions in the meantime. So that next step, reaching out. This is Daisy's contact information since she was our guest speaker today. So feel free to reach out to Daisy through email with any questions that you have. And I also included some other key contacts around campus for some of these groups that we mentioned earlier at the beginning of the presentation. So I am a good point of contact for anyone adult learner oriented, just generally returning to the university. So feel free to reach out to me through email is always best. I also have my phone number up there. We had a contact in Ambe, so for our military students, he left, so that search is ongoing. But in the meantime, if you do have any questions about military veterans funding status, anything along those lines, this is the general contact information. And then I always like to refer students to Doug. He's a transfer advisor. He works really closely with our adult learners, a lot of like reverse transfer too. So if you have the capacity to potentially take more classes at a community college, even if you've already started at Wayne State, that's always a great way to save some money. And if SAP appeals an issue and we need to work on that GPA, he can help you make sure the courses you're taking at the community college are the right courses to transfer back. So you're not losing any time, you're being smart with money. And then Terrell is here too. Terrell, I didn't give you a chance to introduce yourself, but are you still around?
Yes, Amber, I'm still around. Yes. Hello, everybody. My name is Terrell Tops. I am the Educational Transition Coordinator here at the university, working as close as I can with Amber, working with justice impacted students, men and women that specifically that's been impacted by the justice system in one way or another. And so my population are men that are currently will be transitioning from incarceration into their higher education pipeline. And we're hoping to be able to expand our numbers of successful students with that population. So that is the population that I'm currently focused on and being assisted by Amber because, of course, my population is an adult learner population.
Thanks so much, Terrell.
My pleasure.
So that's the end of the presentation for tonight. I'll stick around for a few minutes afterward. If anybody does have any questions and wants to ask that more one-on-one. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing everybody next week to hear more about that resume building. Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you,
you.
everybody. Have a
Thank
good
you, Daisy.
night. Bye-bye.
Amber, I'll talk with you soon.